Merry Christmas. I have some bad news. You've been doing Christmas wrong all these years. Don't worry though, I'm here to help you. All you really need to do to maximize your Christmas game is to inject a little bit of æbleskiver in your celebrations. So æbleskiver are Danish spherical pancakes. It's awesome. But you might be asking yourself, well, who's here to tell me why this is important and how to make these things? My name is Rasmus and I work at the Museum of Danish America. You can probably tell by the accent that I am not from America, I am Danish. Finally though, I am the world champion æbleskiver eating champion, eater something. In Elkhorn in Iowa, we held our first World Championship eating contest this year and Memorial Day around our Tivoli Fest weekend, and I won the amateur division. So I got this wonderfully spray painted thing to show that I am a champion. So I'm here today to show you how to make these things, and just let's get started. For this recipe you'll need 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of sugar, half a teaspoon of baking powder, and 1/4 teaspoon of salt. 2 large eggs separated into yolks and whites, 1 cup of whole milk, 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter, melted and slightly cooled. In a large bowl, mix flour, sugar, salt and baking powder. And you whisk it. And then in a smaller bowl, whisk the egg yolks lightly, add the whole milk, whisk it a little bit more, and then you add the melted butter as well, and you whisk it a little bit more, like so. And then you take the wet ingredients and sort of just toss them into the dry ingredients. And you bring your trusted wooden spoon and you stir the stuff. And then it's gonna look a little bit lumpy at this point, but that's okay. Just stir it with a wooden spoon. It's gonna look sort of like this at that point. And next step is to beat the egg yolks until stiff peaks form. So I'm just gonna toss them in here and do a little bit of that and go ahead. Okay, so at this point you're supposed to have this slightly lumpy batter and you're supposed to have some beaten egg whites, right? So you take approximately 1/3 of the egg whites and sort of, I don't know how to do this, you fold them into the batter lightly, try to keep it fluffy, you know, and then when you feel like that's been accomplished, you add the rest of the egg whites. I'll do the rest here. And then you're just mixing it until no more white streaks are in the batter, so yeah. And once you've done that, you take your trusted pouring utensil, I'm using Pyrex today, and you sort of pour the batter into that so you can transfer it onto the æbleskiver pan in just a second. Alright, cool. So now you have a hot æbleskiver pan, you have your batter here, and you're gonna toss some butter into the pan. Use plenty of butter, always. Danish cooking, man. Gotta do it. And so you have a knitting needle, steal one from your grandmother if you don't have one, and then you pour the batter in here. Let's see what happens. Alright, like so. And once you pour the full pan, the first one might be slightly ready to turn. You just poke into it and see if you can sort of turn it on its half like that, and then you just move around the pan. If they're not quite ready, just give it a little bit of time and move on to the next one. There you go. So now your pan is supposed to look something like this, and then once you've accomplished the half turn, you can do the tricky quarter turn thing. And that's when you put the needle into it here and you sort of turn it up like that, and it's supposed to look like a Pac-Man seen from above, if that makes any sense. You'll know what I'm saying when you're doing it. And so the last step you have here is you poke the needle in from behind and you flip them up so they face down. Alright, so now you have the sort of finished shape of your spherical Danish pancakes, æbleskiver, and then you just sort of, you know, make sure the crust is formed evenly, and that's about it. Now to the best part, the eating. So we have our done æbleskivers here. We have some powdered sugar, and I have chosen some raspberry jam. It can sort of be anything you really want it to be. I prefer raspberry jam. So you just plate 3 of these things. Raspberry jam on the side there. Some confectioner sugar. So good. Okay, hit me. Championship level æbleskiver eating. Boom.